70,000 views.
What?
2,700 likes.
Wait.
118 comments. 40 videos. And one guy who started from basically nothing. This is the story of my venture into weekly content creation. I hope you can benefit from some of the lessons I learned and apply them to your own ventures across the internet. In the first week of 2021, I decided that it was time to have a proper crack at producing content online. I'd had countless small attempts over the years that had never eventuated into anything substantial, so I figured it was time to give it a proper, consistent go. Weekly content was the name of the game, with a 6-post strategy for each week. The first 3 would be work in progress content, little snapshots of the bigger project I was working on. From there, I would post a weekly recap video, covering what had happened that week and what I was planning, the big content piece that I'd been working on, and finally, either more of the process of the primary post, or some pics from my own life as a little journal. This format over time grew unsustainable, so I cut it down to 3 posts per week, focusing on quality over quantity. I began to lean into Reels and TikTok too, creating content that was geared towards virality and quick consumption. This simplified my content pattern and let me learn the do's and don'ts of the modern internet. I dabbled in different genres of content too, creating remixes and covers of music, animations and 30-minute render challenges, and photography and visual effects projects too. It was a true exploration of all my creative passions, and my skills across each of these media forms have developed dramatically. With lockdowns hitting Sydney for most of the year, it restricted the content that I could create to solo content, and really pushed what I could do as an individual. But looking back, I'm proud of what I created, even if it didn't always perform the best. Now, the part you've been waiting for, the numbers, the data, the graphs. I restricted my analysis to only Reels content, as all other content would only be going out to organic followers and occasionally people through the Explore page. Those stats are less relevant for growth, and are therefore not worth exploring in such high detail. In terms of views, Instagram was my most successful platform, reaching 50,583 views total across 37 videos. TikTok reached 13,647 views across 30 videos, and YouTube 5,839 across 12. Now this makes sense as Instagram was my largest platform by far, reaching a peak of 266 followers. TikTok only hit 85, and YouTube merely 12. However, engagement figures is where it starts to get interesting. Instagram reached a total of 906 likes, whereas TikTok reached 1,573 and YouTube 244. That's an average engagement rate of 1.8% on Instagram compared to a whopping 11.5% on TikTok and 4.1% on YouTube. So what does that actually mean? The engagement rate gives a general indicator as to how relevant and how appealing content is to the audience that is viewing it. TikTok appears to be much more effective at sending content to audiences who might enjoy it, whereas Instagram sends it out to a wider range of people who might not enjoy it as much. Or at least if they do, they don't show it. These reads can't be attributed to the audience that I cultivated either, as there was not a causal link between the number of followers that I had and the engagement rate provided by either platform. Now remember, this is within quite a small sample space of subscribers, but this video is geared more towards people just starting out trying to grow the channel from nothing. Next, let's dive into the types of content that I created. We can class my content as sitting under music, 2D animation, 3D animation, film or VFX, life, tutorial, and gaming. My apparent most popular genre was music, gathering 20,370 views over 12 videos. However, if we pull the average number of views per video, a very different story begins to be told. Music averaged 1,698 views per video, being only my 4th highest genre. Gaming garnered the highest average view ranking, collecting 5,739 views from one video. This was followed by 3D animations, with an average of 2,430 views per video, then tutorials with 1,798. Now, these rankings are really interesting to me, as the number of videos I created in each genre did not affect the likelihood of it being pushed out to a large audience. My 12 music-related videos were less effective at reaching their audiences than one single gaming video. And though I created the same amount of 3D animation videos as I did film-related videos, they were twice as effective at finding their audience. So what does all this tell us then? Firstly, on all short-form content platforms, the relevance of content to the general public is much more important than it is to your current audience. If you post a video on a hot topic or trend, it doesn't so much matter if your immediate audience is interested, at least from a views perspective, as long as the general public will respond to the content well. Secondly, polluting your page with content from different topics does not necessarily have an impact on the number of viewers any video on a particular genre will get. The gaming focused video I created did immensely well considering that The majority of the content I post is arts focused. And finally, and probably most simply, producing content based on its performance rather than on personal interest will be much more effective at gaining reach on short-form content platforms. It's sad to say, but if the content that you're posting isn't considered popular by the algorithms on those sites, you're much less likely to reach a wider audience than if you did cater to what was considered popular. But wait, I'm not saying to not post what you're passionate about. I'm pretty much saying the exact opposite actually. If you have a passion that you want to post about, go for it. Share your creativity or enthusiasm and work hard to produce great content for it. However, if an opportunity arises to stick your hand into what the rest of the internet is talking about, you'll be able to reach audiences that you otherwise would not have. Paying attention to what happens outside your little corner of the internet will be extremely healthy for your account. And who knows, you might even gain a new passion just by doing so. Now, if you're interested in looking at the data that I used to create this video, please feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me directly at Track the Tom. I will be more than happy to share it with you and discuss anything you might have questions about. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like or a comment and let me know. Otherwise, I will catch you later on Track the Tom.
Windows down, blare the rhythm out, set us only positive vibes out, we're giving out.